What's going on, people, and welcome to a brand new episode of Too Many Games and Not Enough Time, the podcast where we get to speak to incredible gamers across the globe. Now, once again, you should know by now, I've told you bare times, but just in case you're new, we drop videos every Monday and Thursday at 6:30 GMT, so make sure you hit that bell and come link we. Now, on today's episode, I have an indie developer. Yes, this man be out here making games. We're talking the creator of Super Space Club. We're talking a yard you in the place, GrahamOfLegend. Wagwan, welcome to the podcast, G.
Yo. Dale, finally made it.
Yeah, so we've had a few technicalities to get this to happen. But it's all cool. You're here right now. Now, I get to speak to so much creatives on the show, and I love being able to speak to content creators. But I get a next little buzz when I get to speak to devs and people that are actually behind the scenes making games. And even though you was born in Yard, right? You live in America, and I've only, in my whole existence of doing this gaming thing, only ever linked up with 2 yard people from gaming my whole life. And
who's the other one?
So he's actually, it's weird. So I've got a friend who writes music, like she's written for Beyonce, all kind of thing. It's actually her partner. So he still lives in Yard, Jamaica, to anyone who don't know what I'm talking about. And and he's really get big into gaming, and he wants to start streaming. So let's take it back a little bit. We want to talk about Little Graham and the little man will got himself a Mario birthday cake and them thing there, and talk about
research.
Yeah, come on, thing. Talk about like your introduction to gaming and really what set you on this path.
I mean, honestly, dog, like I've been a gamer. Like you said, the Mario cake. For those who don't know, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/GrahamOfLegend, and I talk about my whole journey into game development. And when I was 3 or 4, around that time, I got like a little Super Mario cake. And since then, that's just been my journey. My dad got me a Super Nintendo. I got Super Metroid, couldn't pass the first level, switched that out for Mario All-Stars, and that was it. I've loved Mario ever since then. Been playing PC games, PlayStation, Nintendo. Never had Xbox until now, but I've been playing everything. Like, I'm not partial, and I've just loved the whole industry ever since then. Fast forward to like
No, slow down. You want fast, slow down. You want rush.
You asked me, so I tell you my journey, you know.
No, I just want to know the start. Just the start. All right, we're talking about Little Graham.
Yeah, man. Little Graham, just one game enough. That's it.
So it's so funny to me that your father was like, let's start him out on Super Metroid. Like, Super Metroid is no joke thing. That game is hard. And it's no joke. But funny enough, like a lot of the games back in the days were very, very hard. And there weren't even too many save points and stuff like that. So even down to the Lion King game.
The Lion King, I knew you go say that.
Was proper hard. And I think now there's a whole genre of hard games with like the Dark Souls and the stuff like that. But just the normal standard games, like I remember playing Sonic the Hedgehog, and after you've done all your continues, game done, you gotta start again.
That's it. It's a wrap. Yeah.
And it's funny that how the games change, and All Stars is such a great, like, you got basically some of the best 2D Mario games. How did you feel enjoying playing them? What was your favorite in the All Stars?
Well, so I had All Stars, but then my friend gave me Super Mario World, so that's actually my favorite. And then I learned that there's an All Stars plus World combo, which I wish I had. But World is definitely my all-time favorite Mario game, I think.
Yeah, World's mine as well. I know a lot of people say 3 and they love the raccoon. But fam, when I got the Superman, Superman cake, and I was flying, I was like, yo!
You just bouncing
And then,
around
and then,
like
and then I
yeah.
got Yoshi, and I'm flying with Yoshi. I'm like,
Exactly.
yo,
Tree doesn't have Yoshi. Like
yeah,
what? Exactly.
yeah. No, that's mad. I love that. So moving on forward, your journey, and like you said, you play various games and you've worked different parts in the industry. So you've done working in tech, like working for Snapchat and stuff like that. How do you get to the point where you're like, do you know what? I actually want to make games. And like, yeah, how do you get to that point?
So in college, I had a friend also from Jamaica, this guy named Robert Morrison, and he was actually in the game development program at SCAD. And he was like, "Yo, you want to the global game jam?" So I said, "Sure, why not?" So I had another friend in Jamaica, Audley Gordon, and he was a coder. He is a coder. And so we're like, "Yo, let's use this thing called Corona," which, funny enough, why we call it? I mean, in retrospect, right? But it's
Yeah,
a program called Corona.
that's mad.
Right? And we made like a game jam game called Shapes and Sound, the Shapeshooter. I did all the arts, Robert did the game design, and then Audley did all the programming. And from then we're like, yo, we can make games. It's not restricted to just, the big companies anymore. I mean, obviously people were making like Doom and those kind of things way back from floppy disk days. And there was just 2 3 man teams, but they're like hardcore programmers, But now knowing that I can go on YouTube and just learn Unity, learn how to do any little thing, that's so helpful. And so I love to create. I was in motion graphics before I did any tech stuff, and I just love people getting a good experience from things I make. Like you're a content creator, so you enjoy just bringing joy to people's lives essentially. And what better way for me to do that than with games? Now that I can actually have the tools to do that.
That's dope. And it's so funny because I think about being younger, yeah, and playing
Hmm.
games. And in my brain, I never thought of, oh yeah, you can make a job and have a job and actually make that game, or have a
Yeah,
job and actually talk about that
never,
game. Like
never.
that felt so far. Like I never lived in Japan. I never spoke
Exactly.
Japanese.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
thought that's what you needed to be. So you
Correct.
being a black man and actually being here and saying, look, you can look like me, you can sound like me, your tongue can be different, and actually
Right.
being able to make a game is so retrospective for the new generation of kids, because someone's going to
Yeah.
look at you and understand that, and then in 10 years you don't know, they could have made the next GTA or made
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
Horizon. So like that is so important. And for
And that's
people who,
honestly that's one of my biggest things that I want to bring to the industry too. Like I don't think I'm going to ever be the best of anything, but I want to, like, just like you said, like, be a face for the youth, the next gen of us, like the next gen of black kids, Jamaican kids, whatever. And I never had anybody to look to like that. It's all just, the regular white developers, for lack of a better way to say it. So yeah, it's just nice that you exist, so that people can say, oh yeah, there are black content creators. I exist. There are black game developers, and they can show their parents, be like, hey mom, look, this guy's doing it. I can do it too. You
yeah,
know.
and that is so important. And I think that's one of the lot of things people don't understand about representation.
Right.
Representation
Right.
isn't, oh, put us in there because we don't want white people in there. We're saying put us in there so other people can look at it and kids can be like, oh,
Exactly.
I can do
Right.
that. Because for us, we didn't think you could do that. We knew we could play football. We knew we could play sports because we saw ourselves in it, but we never
Exactly.
saw
Yeah.
ourselves in that. So we didn't actually realize we can do that. All right, so
Right.
let's talk about Super Space Club. Like right now is you got the floor. I want you to break down the game to the people, tell them why the game turn up, why they need it in their life, and yeah, just break it down like what the concept was, why you got there, and explain the game to the people.
So there's so many ways I can start talking about this, but essentially, so it's just me. I'm not a programmer. I just kind of learn from YouTube and the internet. I'm an artist, right? And so all my games, I try to be art first focused and just make something visually. Try to make it as fun as I can possibly make it. And so I said, yo, I want to make like a space shooting kind of game, but make it after watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm like, yeah, I want to make something that beautiful, that stunning, that colorful. And so I made Super Space Club just look like a gradient of colorful space. And essentially, for those of you who don't know, it's a space shooter that's an endless gunner. It has the best lo-fi hip-hop dancehall soundtrack you'll ever hear in any game. And it's just endless fun. You'll have fun playing it for 2 minutes or 2 hours. You need to go and try it, which is on Steam right now. And yeah, it's just honestly, I know that I have something decent because sometimes when I'm making it, I just end up playing and just getting lost in playtesting, and I think that's when you know you have something good.
Yeah, that's dope. Like, I've just been playing a game that was recent released, and it is like, it's a rhythm-based game, and the game
Which one?
New IP, Hi-Fi Rush, and it's so sick. But because it's rock based, like, I find sometimes the timing a bit out for me, because the music I listen to is dancehall, hip hop, stuff like that. I want, like, the last time I can think of a rhythm based game, or even a game that has that kind of feel anyway, doesn't even need to be rhythm based, is Parappa the Rapper, and that weren't even proper rapping, you get me? And obviously games like GTA have proper
and
soundtracks,
Def Jam and that kind of stuff.
But they're like real, they're real life songs that they put into a game, but to have a fresh thing, so that's super ton up, and I'm excited to actually play that and being able to have that kind of rhythm and just connect with me in that way. So I'm super excited. Like, the demo's out on Steam right now. As soon as we come off, I'm downloading it. Make sure you people and download it, because it's proper. All right, so obviously making your own game, it takes a lot. Like, you're playtesting, you're designing, you're creating. But what I want to know is, even though visually it's not going to be the same as anything else, what are some of the games that you play that make you think, oh my goodness, like, this inspires me to be able to make my game the greatest?
I mean, honestly, I draw inspiration from everywhere, not just games, but I'll focus on just games. Like, any game I play, I can think of one aspect of it that I'm like, oh, I can integrate this into my game, but on like an indie level, you know? Just like, even currently, it changes every day, but my favorite game of all time is Breath of the Wild. And just the feeling that gives you of exploration. I want to be able to make a game like that, but obviously not on that scale, because that's not possible. That's not feasible right now as a one-man team. But just the... Have you played Tunic?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tunic is a great example of that. Like, you're going around exploring and you're finding all different secrets and all that stuff. That's my game of the year last year. And yeah, just anything I play, I can draw inspiration from that and put my own spin on it, and to scale, obviously. For Super Space Club, it was like Star Fox, of course, because it's all the characters that you use are all these anthropomorphic heroes, and it's just a vibe, you know. Like, I want to make dope shit. That's what I want to do. Like, that's the whole point of me being there. And so, yeah, it's anything. I draw inspiration from anything that speaks to me. Obviously, from Jamaican culture, from rap, hip hop culture, and yeah, just anything that's visually inspiring.
That's dope. So I really, really want a new Star Fox that bangs, because I feel like Star Fox was like, when technology was limited, they were able to really create.
They pushed it. Yeah.
Yeah, they was able to create something visually enhancing, but I feel like they haven't been able to work out how to implement that in a modern day setting that works. And fam, Breath of the Wild. So
one of the best, man. It's one of the best.
Legend of Zelda is one of my favorite franchises ever, and Ocarina of Time is my favorite game in the franchise. Like, I love Ocarina of Time. I love Link to the Past as well.
That was my favorite until Breath of the Wild.
See, Breath of the Wild is my second favorite, and the reason why it's 2 and not 1 is because the story is
The
on the
story
back
isn't
end.
there.
Yeah, I think if the story
yeah.
if the story was at Memories and stuff like that, and the story was in front, it'd probably be my
It would be
favorite.
number 1.
Yeah, but
I can understand that.
Having the story in the back end. But one of the things that developers, marketing teams, mainly marketing teams in gaming, they're always like, you can go anywhere and you can do anything, and if you see it over in the horizon,
see it over there, you can go over there. Yeah,
to
always.
And Breath of the Wild was that.
They
and
did
I tell you when I really realized, Graham, I've played bare of this game. Like, I've played hours, I'm talking probably a good 50, 60 hours into this game, yeah. And I'm trying to go around and clear all of the shrines. And I got one little grey part in the map in the corner that I just ignore. So I'm like, let me see if there's a shrine up in that grey part of the map. So I go on this big mountain. And then I'm on my guide, and then I see one big Ross maze. I'm like, I want it. Where did
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Huge. And I'm like, how have I played this game for so many hours, and there's this huge maze? And if I just stopped playing, I would have never known this maze existed.
Right, that's not the only one.
Yeah, and there's no. Yeah, no, I discovered the other ones after, and there isn't no sign like, come over here, come over there.
It just exists for you to find. If you don't, you don't. You know. Like,
you don't. And there's plenty of people.
I love that so much.
Who would never know that maze is there, and what Breath of the Wild does is, which is its strength and its weakness for me, is it creates its own story. And because it creates its own story, it was, how do you create your own story and put a story in it? And I'm kind of hoping they figure that out with Tears of the Kingdom. I'm hoping with Tears of the Kingdom.
I think they can, because one of my other favorites is The Witcher 3, and that story is just like, it's so good. Yeah. And it does have you can, it's not like Zelda where you can climb up and down everywhere, but you still can, the world is a lot to explore, you know?
I love the Wild Hunt.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that Tears of the Kingdom is a good mix of story, the traditional like dungeons, and then just bring back the same exploration and you're good.
Yeah, because
you have the whole sky now,
yeah, because even down to like with Wild Hunt, like the side quests were mad, like that, even down to that little quest with the pot, where you go in a woman's yard and she's like, oh, can you get my pot?
The pots,
yeah. You're like, you gotta get my pot. Yeah. And there's a duppy in there and all of that. Like, like it's so.
The side quests are so,
it's so good. So if they implement that right, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom probably going to be one of the greatest. But
even that though, like in Breath of the Wild, when you did have side quests, they were really, those are memorable to me. Like when you had when you went and found the ghost horse, like and all the different fairies, like all those things are really memorable. I wish they had more story, because they have so much to pull from, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And I want them to go back to more traditional dungeons. Like I liked the Divine Beasts, but I found them very samey, like visually and stuff like that. So I want,
like the final boss was great. Like have more of that besides the regular bosses, you know.
Yeah. So I want something to look like a fire temple. So I mean, I want no water temple, but we want something to look like that. But yeah, I feel like Breath of the Wild is very, very special. It's a very special game indeed. Graham, we're running out of time, but what's really important for people to know is, like, there's people out there like them that are creating a place in this space, and I really want people to go out and support your thing. I really want people to go and check out Super Space Club. I want them to go and wishlist it on Steam. If you just had to give people a quick tagline why they need to go out and get this game, stream it, tell their brethren about it, buy it for someone for their Earth Strong, what would you say to people why they need this in their life?
So you need Super Space Club in your life because, like I said, this has one of the best soundtracks you're going to hear this year, guaranteed. I promise you. It's one of the most unique soundtracks you hear this year. Visually, it's just easy to look on your eyes. And it's a chill game. Like, it's, despite it being very hectic and difficult, it's very relaxing. And I don't really find that a lot of games have that kind of balance to them. So, like I said, if you want to play something for 2 minutes or just zen out for half an hour, you're trying to get the best high score, this is a game for you.
It is a game for you. Oh, plug the who did the music in the game?
So Fat Bard, they're amazing. They're the ones who did all the sound effects, all the music and everything, and then we got currently five artists to do all the vocals. Cause yeah, all the tracks have vocals on them, and they're really good.
Mad. Oh,
turn up.
Yeah. Big them up and big yourself up too for staying to the end of the videos. You are the MVPs. Remember, we drop new videos every Monday and Thursday at 6:30 GMT. He's been Graham. I've been Mr. Midas. You've been amazing. And we're gone. Peace.
Look at more.